Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Georgia Sports Nation. We got some more Hawks and Braves content coming for you guys tonight, and it's going to be a doozy tonight. With the news we got today, with the news we've gotten over the past couple of weeks surrounding this Hawks organization and just the ins and outs of what's going on, as well as just the recent struggles on court with the Hawks, we're going to be discussing the win against the Clippers as well as the defeat against the Bucks and diving in deeper from what we've seen that's going on with the wrestlers and Trae Young and just how this organization is being run right now. And then towards the end, we're going to be previewing Hawks Pacers starting at 7 tonight, and then discussing Max Fried likely going to be heading to an arbitration hearing for his salary this year, and what that means. How he'll be less likely to receive an extension. So without further ado,
Wow.
we got OG Big Sam, OG Truth here. What were you guys' first thoughts on the games this week? And we'll start with the Clippers, the win against the Clippers.
Go ahead, Sam.
Well, I think that was just an aberration, so to speak. I mean, it was a good win, but at the same time, with all this going on, I just think that we need to play defense 48 minutes instead of just the last half of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and
And I've been saying it for the last few days. If you can't play hard nosed defense for a coach like Nate McMillan, something wrong with you. And defense wins championship. And that's been a large part of this team's problem. We're not playing a full 48-minute game of defense. And we're talking about effort. We're talking about want to. We're talking about have to. And I really think it boils down to we made some bad decisions. You know what it is when some folks get their money and then they just lax off. But it is what it is. It was a good game, but then too it was a bad game.
Yeah, in this game, it's weird because the Hawks, you never know what you're gonna get, and we'll go into a deeper dive into the stuff behind the scenes in the organization and the front office later. But just on the court stuff right now, it's a mixed bag. In this game, you got the Hawks getting out to 15, an early great lead in this game. I mean, our largest lead was 17 in that first half, and we the second quarter turned the game around really in our favor when we beat them 41-26 in that second quarter. But in that third quarter and in the second half, we scored 19 points and they put up a 35-point quarter in the third and pretty much got into the game single-handedly from that quarter. They got out to an 11-point lead eventually in that third and fourth quarter, but thankfully we were able to close it out and still eke out a win 112-108. But that defense you were talking about in that third quarter, for the most part, this game we actually played good defense. We allowed 26 points in the first two quarters and then 21 in the fourth. That third quarter was pretty much the only bad quarter, but that's that 48 minutes you were talking about. You can't slack off for 12 minutes, and that's why the Clippers almost came back.
Yeah.
If I'm a Clippers fan, I'm sorry, Sam.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with what he said. I mean, just reinstating it that, you got the 48 minutes, man. Especially against a talented team like the Clippers. You got Wall, George, Kawhi, them guys over there. You got to keep it. You got your foot on it.
PG was out this game.
Yeah. If you got your foot on a team's neck like that, why take it off? Why stop choking?
What I was about to say is, if I'm a Clippers fan, I'm pissed because the Clippers really just handed this game to us. We played like, excuse my French, my Spanish is where we played like shit. And for once, the basketball god smiled down on us and we was able to seized control in the fourth quarter and ultimately won the
Mm-hmm.
game. We got dominated on the boards. We didn't play 48 minutes of defense, and it's starting to get it's beginning progressively worse and annoying. However, look, I'm not going to be a negative Nancy. We got the win, but there's a big but. You got to play 48 minutes of sound basketball. It's too much talent on this team, even with Capella. Capella out, but they had George out. I think the Clippers kind of fell into what we do a lot. They didn't do what they did to get them the lead, and they started settling and they started playing one-on-one ball. Kawhi, Kawhi, he's the star on that. He's the star that was there anyway. But really, we couldn't stop Zubac at all. We couldn't stop this dude at all.
Yeah,
And,
he
and
had
and
he,
they stopped, and they for some reason they stopped going to him. But hey, we got the win. So, oh boy,
I I'm go- I disagree. I think so. In the second half, obviously, we definitely slacked off a bit. We did not play. We played a tale of two halves, like we've seen oftentimes too many times with this Hawks team this year. But in the first half, we got off to a great start. Trey was efficient in the first half. He got going a lot in that second quarter. Dre had a great game, scoring 20 points on 8 of 13 shooting. Trey finished with 30 and 8 on efficient shooting, and a 9 of 17 and 3 of 6 from three, which was encouraging. And then Jalen Johnson being a big boost off the bench, shooting 5 of 6 and including 2 of 3 3 point range for 13 points off the bench in just 15 minutes. That was that was huge. And in that first half, it really seemed like the Hawks were going to run away with this game, especially towards the end of toward when we got into halftime. DeAndre Hunter had that steal off the inbound pass, the careless pass, stole it from John Wall, and just absolutely put John Wall on a poster. And then John Collins, he shoots a half court shot just after the buzzer from the other team's free throw line, and it still goes in. So
Right.
the energy and the effort in this game, it was all there in the first half, and then in the third quarter, everything just seemed to switch up. So, like, we played overall. This wasn't. I wasn't completely upset at the way we built the lead, but the way that we lost it, Ivica Zubac was, like you said, just dominant. Overall, the Clippers had 21 offensive rebounds, 21 just offensive rebounds, which is just it's absurd. But we countered that with winning the battle in the paint, 58-40, and that's where the Hawks have really put their. It's been their bread and butter this year. When we win points in the paint, we normally win a game because we're not that outside threat that we have been in the years past with this roster this year. What do you think of how the Hawks were able to take advantage of being the points in the paint with Zubac being a strong rebounder, but we were able to still get around and definitely kill the Clippers in that area?
That's what's so aggravating about this team. We have the physical tools to be physically dominant, but I hate using this term, but when you're 6'10", 240 and some change, and you're lackluster in rebounding, you're lackluster in post, you act like you want to run away from the post. That's just soft, man. That's just soft and lazy. You know what I'm saying? And you know who I'm referring to. But and it's the elephant in the room. John Collins should be 25 and 12 every night. There's no reason with his body and leaping ability that he shouldn't be 25 and 12 with at least 2 or 3 blocks a game, man. And that's my problem with him.
at the
Yeah,
There's
very,
no way
I'm sorry, but
you should be. It's irritating.
it is frustrating, man. At the very least, 18-9 with John. At the very least, man. He's so
Right.
athletic. He's so gifted. He sometimes he'll go to the post, he'll get the ball and do what he's supposed to, and then with no Clint Capella there, I do not understand why he's running out to the 3-point line. Now, if that's the coach telling them that, then my conversation would be for the coach. John Collins is just too gifted to not. His first move should always be to the post. Okay, he run up on a 7'3" guy that's got a little length, that's not that mobile, and that may give him problem with his length. Okay, then you run out to the 3-point line, make that guy move a little bit, and let's do a few backdoor cuts and let's catch a couple of lobs.
Bro, he could jump out the gym, man.
Yeah,
His leaping ability counteracts that.
Yeah, so hey, glad we got the win. That's what I can say. Glad we got the win. Trey did play efficient.
Right.
Glad we got the win.
Yeah, this was a classic. This was a classic vintage Trey game, and the box score and both the game really showed it. When you have Trey getting 30 points on efficiency, he had 8 assists. Trey has had the most 30-point, 10 assist games in the NBA for the last 2 years, or was it 2 or 3? I think it's 2. And he had by far the biggest plus minus on the team as well, plus 11. So this was that vintage Trey Young game, 9 of 9 from the free throw line as well. But I want to discuss this guy. I want to discuss John Collins with you guys a little bit more, because we've seen JC take a much more elevated role in the offense without Clint Capella. He's been close to that 2010 guy without Capella for most of the games. These past 2, he hasn't been at his best. But do you think that we can get JC to be that 20-10 guy, or at the very least, like you were saying, 18-9 when Clint Capella is back? Do you see a world where Nate McMillan, who's not a great offensive coach? I mean, we've seen our offense should be better. Nate McMillan has just not done a great job coaching this offense. I think everybody that is pretty loud and clear. But do you think that there is a way for JC to continue to get these numbers when CC returns?
I do. I do. It should be easier for him. It really should be easier, because with Clint there, even though Clint kind of clogs up the middle because he's limited in his offensive abilities, that gives JC. Listen, Sam used the word lazy. These kids are lazy. Okay, move without the ball. You don't need a coach to tell you that. A lot of people rag on the coach for that. A coach should not have to tell a professional to move without the ball. And guess what? If you listen at Lauren Jabbar, the sideline reporter for the Hawks, she listens in on the timeouts, and she come back and she tell us what Nate tells these kids to do, and they'll initially do it, then they'll go back to their old ways. I can't put that on the coach, and saying they're not listening. They're just not listening to Nate. We need to get rid of Nate. No, that's a coward. That's a cowardly way out, and that's a cowardly mindset, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a cop out.
Southside.
I've said it all week. If you can't play for a coach like Nate McMillan, something's wrong with you. That's just being lazy.
I mean, I don't know if he's necessarily the right coach for this team, but there's a clip today on Twitter that said it was on 92.9 the game. They said that the Hawks are pretty much preparing for Nate McMillan to definitely not be the coach next season on this team. And
we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that, definitely.
But Southside here makes a great point, and especially with Hunter, because sure, you can say we went over Trey and how great of a game he had, but DeAndre Hunter in this game, his one-on-one defense against Kawhi Leonard was some of the best defense I've ever seen him play. And
it was classic. It was classic. Great.
It was a vintage classic performance from DeAndre Hunter.
Yes, great for pointing that out, Southside. I'm so sorry, Dre Hunter. Dre Hunter literally won this game with his defense on Kawhi. And you know what's amazing? Kawhi still went for almost 30, but he made Kawhi work for every damn thing he got when he was guarding him. He didn't slack. He stayed connected to him. He could have told you what type of deodorant the man was wearing after the game. He did his job. He did his job. So yeah, Great pointing that out. I'm so sorry, Dre Hunter. Dre Hunter did play excellent defense on Kawhi Leonard.
He also added offensively. He also added 17, I believe. No, he added 20 points and 8 of 13 shooting. And that's we need to see an efficient for DeAndre Hunter, known for a 3-and-D guy above anything else. You need to be as efficient as a 3-and-D guy, and hopefully he's finding some of that efficiency. But I really liked in crunch time when the Hawks, they had a 14, 15, 17 actually point lead in the first half. They could have easily folded and say, here we go. We're going to choke another big lead. But DeAndre Hunter in crunch time held Kawhi Leonard scoreless in the final minute. Kawhi didn't score another point.
And they gave him the ball.
Yep.
Trust me, they gave him the ball. And efficient DeAndre Hunter with his defense, we are a completely different team from the way we are when he's not. It's night and day. I mean, it's extremely noticeable, man.
100%. Blackberry, what did you think about this win?
A good win. It's a little. It's a win. It's a win that I'm a little pissed off about because of the transition into the next game. It's night and day.
Yep. And
it pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm with you, Blackberry. And it's frustrating, man.
It's like a roller coaster with the Hawks because as we get into the Bucks game here, you had the Hawks get out to a huge lead in the first half against the Clippers, and then slowly give it back to the Clippers in the second half. Now against the Bucks, you had the complete opposite. You got the Hawks going out to this sluggish, putrid start with the Bucks going on a 13-0 run, including 3 or 4 from deep in that stretch. And then you got the Hawks in the second half making this absurd comeback, taking the lead at one point at 103-101 with a bogey baseline mid-ranger. And then you've got the Bucks going on a 10-0 run to close out the game when you closed out the game well against the Clippers and the Kings the week before that. So it's a complete roller coaster. You never know what you're gonna get with his team. But Blackberry, we'll start with you. We'll start with you with this game since you brought it up. What do you think led to such a slow start, and why do you think the Hawks get off to these slow starts in the first quarter so much?
I think I don't think our team comes with energy in the first quarter. I don't think they come with energy. Okay. And I don't know if it's because of they don't get up to play for Nate. They got to get each other ready. In the midst of the game, they got to get each other amped up to play. I don't know if that's what it is. I know a lot of folks like OG Sam. He think that they don't, they not playing for the coach. I don't know. I'm gonna be real. I cannot defend these players, and I cannot defend Nate McMillan anymore after that debauchery of a last 3 minutes in this Milwaukee game. I can't defend none of them. I can't defend nobody because it's like night and day from the Milwaukee game from the Clippers game to the Bucks game, because it's you have your best on-ball defender on the Clippers' best playmaker with the ball. Mm-hmm. You had DeAndre on Kawhi, but why in the blue hell do you have John Collins on Bobby Portis when we know every time Bobby Portis play John Collins, he have his damn lunch? Why? It don't make sense.
That's almost every time. Bobby Portis. A lot of people saying Russell Westbrook might be sixth man of the year. Bobby Portis is my sixth man of the year. He's averaging a double off the bench. He's turned himself into a great player when he had a journeyman to start, when he was a journeyman to start his career with the Bulls and the Wizards, even the Knicks for a season. Like, he's turned himself into a great player. But that's a great point you bring up, Blackberry, to the end of the game too, because the Hawks are both they're in the negative in net rating in the first quarter and the fourth quarter. But in the third quarter, they're in the positive. So we're finishing the game badly and starting the game badly. It's not a great recipe for winning. That's not a great recipe for winning. So it's really the Hawks got to figure out something to get them over the hump at the end of the game and to come out with some energy at the beginning of the game, because we come out at halftime with some energy almost every time. The third quarter's been it's been our strongest quarter in my opinion for the whole year. But Sam, what were you beginning to say for that?
At the risk of sounding like a broken record, 48 minutes, gentlemen. 48 minutes. It's in terms of effort. Your mindset in coming into any and every game should be 48 minutes of hard-nosed defense. Okay? If we want to run, what gets you out to run? Good defense. Good defense turns into transition, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you are. You're right.
If we want to run, we got to play defense from start to finish. And that's what it boils down to. We can't run like we want to because we're not playing defense, and that's a want to. That's an effort thing.
Yeah, and it really showed with the stats in the first quarter too. The Bucks were able to hit 9 3-pointers in that first quarter, and they hit 9 in the first quarter. Right, so you'd think, the Bucks are going to go off the 3-point range. This is going to be a blowout. No, they only hit 9 for the rest of the game. 9 after hitting 9 in the first quarter. So,
as far as I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's the energy, it's the defense. For some reason, when we come out slow, we'll have the energy to get back to the game, like Southside is saying. And then we can't close it out like you saw the Bucks with Drew Holiday, clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot, and with that 10-0 run, the Bucks were able to close it out last night. But we got to stop going down by so many points in the first half, so we have energy to come back if we do in the second. What did you think about this game, OG Truth?
I hate to piggyback off what Sam and Blackberry said. You can't just turn it on and turn it off when you get ready. When you're playing a team with championship pedigree. Well, no, forget that. You can't do that with anybody, any professional. You got to play 48 freaking minutes. It's annoying. You could tell how annoyed we are about it. I'm not going to sit up here and use who's not there as an excuse. Okay, Trey wasn't there, had a tummy ache, or whatever the case. Clint's got this nagging calf strain.
Yeah, Middleton wasn't there for the Bucks either.
You in the game, play the game. Now, let me say something in defense of Nate. Nate took a beating because certain guys wasn't on the floor at the end. Now, I went back and I replayed the fourth quarter. With 6 minutes and 11 seconds left in the game, the Hawks were down 99-96. The next 3 minutes, which was a full 3 minutes, with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left, after he put the starters back in the game. Bogey didn't start the game, but he started the third quarter because Holiday stuck it up in the first half, and then he came back and played better in the second half. But Bogey started the third quarter, so he brought in the starters with 6:11 left. With 3 minutes and 11 seconds left, that's when Bogey hit the baseline jumper, and the Hawks were up 103-101. Okay, so the starters went on a 7-2 run to take the first lead of the game. They just didn't finish. Then they started, like Coonan said today, on 92.9, they started chucking up jumpers.
Yep, and that was really Bogey at the end. You can praise Bogey. I mean, he was really the fuel to the fire. And I want to discuss a play that I'll show in a minute.
He led the comeback. He led the comeback, and then he
the game. But
and then he came back and started chucking up jumpers.
Yep, and it honestly looked like a high school and middle school coach was saying, okay, everybody get out the way. Bogey's the hot guy right now. We're gonna go through him. And I don't know if that's on Bogey. I don't know if that's on Nate. We'll never know. but regardless, we went away from what was working, and what was working at the beginning of the fourth quarter was our bench. Our bench in the beginning of this fourth quarter, Frank Kaminsky scored 10 points in 13
Frank the Tank, baby. Frank the Tank.
2
Frank
threes in a row
Kaminsky
for
and
Frank.
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Those three guys got us back into the game to allow the starters, including Bogey, to have the opportunity to bring us home. But unfortunately, they couldn't do it. And I really thought the play that gave us the momentum to start the comeback was this and one and a great read by DeJounte Murray.
Atlanta's had some big comebacks this year.
That's a great read from DeJounte Murray. This play really, in my opinion, got us back into the game with some energy. And as you can see,
Atlanta's had some big comebacks.
It got us back to below 20 points. And while it may seem like nothing, to get a momentum play like that and a great read when our half-court offense was struggling, it gives you some confidence. And after that, that's when JJ came in, had that N1 dunk on the fast break. Bogey came in, knocked down some threes, and just the energy was just in the building. You could see it. The fans were going crazy in that second half too, late in the third quarter, early in the fourth. So when you don't give yourselves a big hole like that in the first quarter, that comeback is no longer needed to be a comeback. That can be a run to sustain the lead, a run to make it bigger, but instead it was meant to be a comeback, and we couldn't get over that final hump because we had extended, like Southside said, so much energy to get back into that game at the 103-101 point that you were just making.
Damn, man, Southside, you on it tonight, because that's what I was going to go into. You sit up there and you exert so much energy trying to come back that you will eventually run out of gas. Now, I will give Aaron Holiday his flowers. He was part of the comeback too late in the third quarter. Aaron Holiday and AJ Griffin, the bench brigade did their job. Listen, when the bench brigade do their job to set it up for the starters to take us home, the starter's supposed to take us home. I'm not going to go in on the coach for bringing back the starters, because that's their job to take us home. That's their job to take us home.
Yep.
The bench did their job.
They brought energy. Bench bringing energy is all you need.
My fault is with Nate is you see them guys jacking up them threes like that. I think we still had 2 timeouts. I'm using one of them timeouts to bring them jackasses over to the bench and say, what in the hell is wrong with you? Why are you jacking up threes in a one-possession tight game where you can pull it out? You've been getting inside all second half. At will, you've gotten into the paint. On Yekon Kongwu, young man, you did a hell of a job on the best damn player possibly in the damn league today.
7 points.
7 points on Giannis, 3 of 10 shooting. Onyeka just put him in jail in a straitjacket.
You did a hell of a job, and for that boy not to be rewarded with a win for the job he did on Giannis is ridiculous. You go out there jacking up threes in the last few minutes, and it's shameful. You know you're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. You know you've been getting into the paint all damn second half at will. You know Jalen Johnson has been playing his ass off on defense. Why is he not in the game, and why are you jacking up threes? It didn't make a lick of sense.
Now, before we go into the drama, let me say this. We also mentioned Bobby Portis, what he did in the first half. He was non-existent in the second half.
Bingo.
So we just got to play 48 minutes.
Goes back
hopefully everything goes well in Indiana tonight. I think based on what Conan said today, Trey and Clint should be available tonight, and we definitely gonna need them.
Clint is not available.
He's not.
Clint's out.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's out.
Okay. Well, he said
that's right.
That's getting old, man. That's getting old.
Availability
is availability, man.
I'm really worried about Clint Capella. Calf strains. Calf strains. They're hard to read.
I'm a Clint fan.
They're hard. They're hard, but we got to also take in consideration. you know what I'm saying, Clint's usage. I mean, you know, he's an undersized center
He's not undersized. He's
asking to
6'10".
toe.
He's not undersized.
When you
By the
go up
day's
against-
standards, he is. By the day's standards, he
Miles
is.
Turner's
He's got.
6'10". Is he undersized?
Do they have the same length?
All I'm saying is when we're asking Clint to go up against, you know, guys that most times out of 10 bigger than him night in and night out, and you got a 4 next to him that like to hang around the 3-point line. I mean, what do you expect? He's gonna wear down, man. He's gonna wear down. He's gonna wear down.
True. That's true. But the thing is that John Collins, like, when I don't think he doesn't like to hang out the 3-point line. I wouldn't say that. I think it's more of because he's not the primary role man. We need to use Clint Capella as the primary role man, right? Because if we don't, he's useless on offense. JC can at least knock down a mid-ranger. He struggled from 3, obviously, this year. But I think that's the reason why JC is always at the 3-point line. I don't think it's because it's his choice. But one thing I wanted to bring up before we just sorry, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
I can think of maybe 4 power forwards in the league, you know what I'm saying, that he probably would have problems with, but for the most part, John Collins should be eating these power forwards that we go up against night in, night out for lunch with his leaping ability and his body size and his talent. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. You want the bag, but you ain't giving us bag play.
Hey, he already got the bag.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We give you the bag, and you giving us, you know what I'm saying, you know, AAU play.
And one thing I wanted to go over real quickly, I want you guys to take a look at this box score real quick before we get into the Pacers and the eventual elephant in the room with this organization. Look at this box score. Our bench was what got us back into this game. By the way, look at Frank Kaminsky. By the way, look at that plus minus for Frank Kaminsky. Just want to point that out.
Right.
But one thing that this doesn't show is our starters had a combined 22 points with 10 minutes left in the third quarter. That is how poorly the starters were playing in this game. And DeJounte Murray, we got to bring this up. I'm sorry. DeJounte Murray without Trey, 4 for 16, 9 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. You got to be better.
Got to be better.
Got to be better than that. When your superstar's out and you lean on your second star, you got to be better than that. But shout out to the bench, really. Shout out to the bench.
100%.
Bogey, this was a vintage performance from Bogey until the fourth quarter, and when he started shot chucking. Jalen Johnson brought all the energy. He's taken more threes that I like. He's taking them with confidence. So hopefully he can do that. But do you guys think that Derek Favors will crack this rotation tonight?
He need to.
Probably. They probably didn't play him the first game because he had literally just signed. But especially with no Clint, I expect to see him get a little burn. If not tonight, definitely tomorrow night in the Monday game against Miami.
It got to be tonight. He only on a 10-day contract.
Yep.
Right.
He'll have 6 games. So Wednesday was his first. This will be his second. Tomorrow will be his third. And then, like OG saying, Monday against the Heat will be his fourth. So he'll have 2 more next week after Monday. But he has got to hopefully we can see that. But a big deal in tonight's game. The biggest news, other than Clint being out for us, biggest news just in the game in general is Tyrese Halliburton. He's down now at least 2 weeks with an elbow sprain and a bone bruise. That's huge. That's huge loss for the Pacers. Obviously, the backup point guard duties will go to Andrew Nembhard and TJ McConnell, or Timothy John McConnell. That's as I like to call him. He's, in my opinion, TJ McConnell is one of the best defenders in the league. He's gets underrated so badly in terms of just his physical play and the way he's able to shoot those fadeaway mid-range jumpers. So what's going to be the key tonight to stopping McConnell and Nemhard, just like we couldn't stop Halliburton when the Pacers were just running to the paint and we couldn't stop them downhill the last time we paced them.
48 minutes.
48 minutes.
48 minutes. I hate to beat a dead horse, but hey, keep dying, horse. 48 freaking minutes, man. 48 minutes. 48 minutes, we beat this team easily.
Oh, yeah, we do. Especially without Halliburton. This game should not be close.
And you should be getting inside. You should be penetrating 80% of this game.
Oh, yeah,
you should be penetrating 8%. Well, what these team been doing to us? They say, oh yeah, you know what? No Clint Capella. Okay, y'all gonna play on Yeka Okongwu how many minutes? Okay, we just gonna keep going inside. Yeah, and that's what they do.
Miles Turner, for all the glory that Miles Turner gets, and he's a great shot blocker. He is not a good defender. There is a difference. A very key difference between a shot blocker and a defender. Miles Turner is not a great defender. He does not alter a lot of shots. But when he has the opportunity to block a shot, he's excellent at it. So you can.
He's a help side guy. He's a help side guy.
Exactly.
He'll come get a shot, but on ball defender, he's not the greatest.
I also want to see
100% agree.
I also want to see Okongwu win the rebounding matchup. Turner is not a great rebounder for a center at his size. So I want to see Okongwu win the rebounding matchup tonight. And then my last thing is, besides 48 minutes, I think what can help our defense is our offense. If we score efficiently and take smart shots, don't take these long threes that creates long rebounds and run out opportunities. If we score, we're going to stop them from getting out in transition. Plain and simple, because they got to take.
You can set up your defense,
and they got to keep it up. And you can set up the defense exactly.
You can set up your defense when they got to take the ball out of the basket.
So offense is a key to our defense tonight for sure against a team that really is young and is going to want to run. Is going to literally run us out of the gym.
Go on and get to it, Mikey. Go on and get to it. Game started for 16 minutes. Go on and get to it.
All right. Now, the big question. I'll let OG Truth introduce this segment, but we saw today, Nick Ressler has his fingerprints all over this team. Travis Schlenk had to step down, didn't feel comfortable with how with his decision making and power. What is going on with this organization right now, and how do you guys think this can be resolved?
Let's get to how we got here. How we got here goes back 3 years. Big wrestler Tony interjected himself into what was going on with Travis Schlenk. He basically boxed Schlenk in to fire Lloyd Pierce. Lloyd Pierce at the time was a lame duck head coach. They wasn't gonna retain him anyway.
Yeah, no way.
So you boxed him in to fire Lloyd Pierce because allegedly your superstar was unhappy with him. Your superstar was going to talk to your son, Nick Ressler. Your son relays everything was going on with the superstar to you. You go to the GM and say, we need to do something. They fire Lloyd. Nate was the lead assistant. Lightning strikes in the bottle. We make a finals run. Now, if you don't re-sign Nate, you look like an idiot.
Yep.
Okay.
Even though his record is not that great.
So, he got 750 wins. So you don't win 750 wins in it.
Well, I'm saying in the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. Now, by that happening, you handcuffed yourself, because if you just let Lloyd Pierce finish out the season, now you make Nate McMillan and whoever else interview for the job. Now you're not obligated to rehire or hire Nate McMillan, give him a 4-year deal, and now we won't be at this point right here. So now let's fast forward to this point. So basically what we're being told is Nick Ressler is running the show. Okay? Nick Ressler is running the show. Landry Fields has been promoted to the I guess the guy who's gonna pull all the triggers on the deals. Okay. Now they just brought in Kyle Korver to be up under Landry Fields. So guess what is about to happen? If the boo boo hits the fan, who's gonna lose his job first? Who's gonna lose his job first?
Who between who? Nate McMillan.
Nate.
Chase.
Well, no. Nate's gonna already be gone.
Yeah,
They're gonna fire Nate. They're gonna fire Nate at the end of the season. But guess what? Now it's gonna be two guys that you're gonna be paying for the next 2 years. Travis Slink was signed all the way through 2027 or 2029. Okay, I think they've already paid him $40 million, so he's going to be gone at the end of the year. You're paying him. Nate's going to be gone at the end of the year. You're paying him. You're going to have to hire a new coach and pay him. You just brought in Kyle Korver to pay him, and you've upgraded your son to run everything, and you're paying him, but we can't go on a luxury tax. Go figure. Now, I just had to throw that part in. I'm sorry. Excuse me if I sound like I'm preaching.
Keep cooking.
Now, how does this get fixed? I don't know. And I hate to give you that answer. I don't know, because Trey Young's going to have his paws and his fingerprints on anything that goes on with this organization. When you start hearing stuff like Schlink got basically strong-armed into – no, he didn't get strong-armed into – they pulled a move to get DeJounte Murray in here without his consent.
Pretty much, yep. That's what we saw in the Athletic article today.
Nick Wrestler, Landry Fields, and I guess Trey Young. But I'm going to say Nick Wrestler and Landry Fields. They brought him in, pulled that deal. Travis didn't like that. So after they did that, to shut him up, what they do, they promoted him to president. Then right after they promoted him to president, they traded Kevin Huerter. Travis Slink did not like that one bit, and he let it be known. Now, Travis Slink is basically just a consultant now, making the same paycheck, and this team is 3 games under 500. It's a complete dumpster fire here. The only way to fix this now is fans ain't gonna want to hear this. You're gonna have to possibly blow it up again, and I don't think a lot of fans want that. We may lose everybody, because guess what? Once Trey gets any type of resistance, he's gonna buck and say, "Get me out of here." Okay, John Collins gonna get tired of his name being brought up in trade rumors, and he's gonna say, "Get me out of here." DeJounte Murray, we haven't locked him up yet. DeJounte gonna say, "Fuck it, I'm out of here too."
Yeah, he's here. He's here through next year, but after next year, yeah.
Okay, all right. Clint Capella, well, he hasn't started his extension yet, but Clint gonna be like, "Hey man, what the hell is going on? I need to go too." It's just a dumpster fire right now. It's really disheartening, and I don't know what we're gonna do to fix it. Y'all go ahead.
Go ahead, Sam.
I'm right now, and I'm Grumpy OG, bro. You called this a year ago.
Oh my God!
I was arguing with you about it.
We tore each other head off about this.
Yeah. I put this entire situation at Trey. Now, if this goes the way we saying it's gonna go, this man is gonna be responsible for getting rid of 2 coaches.
He's gonna be labeled a coach killer.
Yeah, which
and when you start letting the player dictate, you know what I'm saying, hirings and firings, and we're not getting any results, and we're just spinning in the mud. Okay, number one, let me first and foremost, this is not representation of being a leader. Number one, that's first and foremost. Number 2, you're not throwing your weight on both sides of the court there, buddy. This is where I'm agreeing with you at, OG. Okay, you ain't improved your defensive play at all in 2 years. at all. Okay? And yet you're running back and forth in and out of these offices upstairs and getting this person to back you up and having all this turmoil. This is all Trey.
Nick Wrestler was picking. You're hearing about Nick Wrestler picking him up from practice. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna slightly before Blackberry go in. I'm gonna slightly disagree with you on who's to blame.
Yeah, me too.
It's not Trey. Yeah, it's Tony Wrestler.
Exactly.
It's Tony Wrestler. Yep. He had the power to stop all of this. He got the power to stop all of this. He allowed this to happen.
Yep. And Nick Wrestler, if Nick Wrestler has all this control, right, and is really like running the show, if you will, and I saw this tweet from Grant Shirley today, he has great tweets, honestly. He said, if Nick Wrestler's running the show, let's get a Nick Wrestler press conference. Where is he? We don't know what he's doing. Like, let's get a Nick Wrestler press conference. Just something let's see this guy. But
no, they're using Conan they're using Conan to be their voice. Now, what Conan said earlier today on the Dukes and Bale show was disturbing.
It was.
He said there is turbulence. He used the word Blackberry, Sam, Mikey. He used the word turbulence in the front office. That's not good at all. Nope. What you say, Blackberry?
I'm gonna say it just like this. 2 years ago, the mouthpiece for the Atlanta Hawks was two people: Tony Wrestler and Travis Schlenk. Then all of a sudden, last offseason, you stop hearing Tony Wrestler. Why? Because he gave his son more input on what's going to happen with the team. And then the DeJounte Murray trade happens, which I still like. I don't disagree with it. But apparently, it was Nick Wrestler's approach to get DeJounte Murray, not including Travis Schlenk on the ins and the outs of the deal. Not including Travis Schlenk in on, this is what I want to do. What do you think? Now, see, the relationship Tony Wrestler and Travis Schlenk had was that more of a partnership. Of course, it was owner, GM, but it was more of a partnership. They made a lot of these decisions together. You used to hear it when they spoke. They spoke highly of one another. Every time there was questions about decisions on the direction with the team, looking to go out and get in free agency or on the trade blocks, it was always, I'm getting with Tony. It was always, I'm getting with Travis. That's what the conversation was always about. And then all of a sudden, you don't hear Tony Wrestler no more.
It's Nick.
And I don't think Travis Schlenk likes working with Nick Wrestler. I think he tries to run things as a dictator, more so as a than a democracy, even though it's not that. But a general manager is supposed to be a general manager.
Travis Schlenk,
a general manager, be that.
Hey, Blackberry, Travis Schlenk, according to Conan, from what I read, what Conan said today, he's been completely phased out. He's not even involved in the day-to-day operations. They refer to him for consulting, but you know why they have to? Because Nick Wrestler don't know. He probably couldn't run a damn church league team right now. So now, when it comes to major decisions, he's got, I got to call Travis. And
I think it's two things. It's two reasons for why Tony is no longer the general manager, not even the president, and now is a consultant role. It's two reasons. One, I think it was within his plans all along. He just didn't want to do it this soon. The reason why he's doing it this soon is because, two, he don't like Nick Wrestler. His relationship before he tarnished his relationship with Tony, he'd rather take himself out the situation.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to Landry Fields. Landry Fields is like, oh shit, oh boy,
It's my time to shine.
oh boy,
I'm in the thick of this shit now.
oh boy. Wait a minute. They just hired Kyle Korver to be up under me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're Landry Fields, Blackberry, Sam, what are you thinking? Based on what just happened to Travis Schlink.
Uh-oh.
What are you thinking if you're Landry Fields? Like, is he here to replace me?
Right.
Kyle Korver probably like, I don't know what the hell.
Boy now.
I don't know the hell y'all got going on, but I'm gonna take this money.
I'm gonna take this money.
I'm gonna take this money. Look, Landry
Fields is his boy.
Landry ain't got no problem.
Fields was Travis Schlink boy. That was his guy.
Yeah. So now you add in, they let go 2 guys that Schlink had brought in, and then they brought in 2 of Landry Fields' college classmates. I can't make this. This is, oh my God. I need a drink.
Yeah, this is a crazy saga. It's honestly so bad. And I remember when the Hawks, great. It was, we had this great interview with Joe Johnson a couple weeks ago, right? When he was at the game against the Nets. And it was a great game, by the way. That was a really good game. We lost, but that was a great game to watch. And
yes, it was.
Joe Johnson said, first class organization, great guys in the front office. He loved his time in Atlanta. Where did that go? The answer to that question?
They wasn't there.
When Nick Ressler walked in the door at State Farm Arena, it left. It's gone.
No, they wasn't there. That was the Atlanta Spirit.
Yeah, that's
that Joe Johnson played for.
That's when the wrestlers took it over, and when Nick Ressler came in the door as of last year, when he got more power to say what happened to this organization. That's where they went.
When are we going to hear from Jamie Gertz? I've heard nothing from her. She's one of the 3.
She doesn't speak a lot outside of, like, she's at the games with Tony and all the time. I've seen her at the games and stuff, but I've actually when I interned with the Hawks in the summer of 2021. I had a conversation with Steve Koonin for a couple minutes. This guy's a really nice guy. He was so positive in everything was saying about the Hawks and when he was talking to the group of the interns and stuff. But now when I heard him today on 92.9,
he didn't sound.
It looks like he is so shook at just what is going on.
He is not happy. His words were, everything is not 100% of that. Not 100% of that is true. Meaning, he didn't say it was a lie. You got to think about it. How he moves now. Whenever there's some BS, he'll call BS on it. He didn't call BS today. He did not. He kind of felt uncomfortable answering the question. And I don't know if y'all noticed it or not, because we're going into the 7:00 hour. I don't know if y'all noticed it or not, but the questions shifted to football. You know why? Because somebody tapped Dukes and Bell and said, all right, let it go. Because Koonin felt uncomfortable with those questions. Because Koonin ain't going to lie. So,
and I'm with you. And I feel, Sam, and like I said, I don't know. I can't defend Trayon at this juncture, but I do agree with True that I don't think this is on Trey. I don't think he got that much influence on the operations, but I think Nick Ressler show as hell do, and I think this is all because of him. This implosion within is because of Nick Ressler.
Yep.
And Tony allowed it.
He did. And as we close the book on that saga with the turmoil of the Atlanta Hawks right now, hopefully we can go on the court tonight against the Pacers and have a good representation of on the court, because we know what's going on behind the court, behind the scenes is not great. But as we end the show, before we end the show tonight, I want to talk briefly about what we're hearing about Max Fried. Obviously, Max Fried's contract ends after this year. He's going to become a free agent. That's what's looking more likely to happen. He has his arbitration hearing, and he hasn't got an extension yet. With the salary cap going up, or sorry, not the salary cap. With the with our payroll going up, that's what they claimed. That's what they claimed. Our payroll should go up. We aren't seeing Max Fried get an extension. We're not seeing the Braves and Max Fried agree on a contract before an arbitration, as Mark Bowman reported today. Do you guys think this is a sign, an early sign, that Max Fried might not be as likely to get an extension before the end of next season?
If Max Fried goes to arbitration, he's gone. If you don't sign him, if you force him to go into arbitration, because the arbitrator gonna side with him. If you force him to go in arbitration, he's gone. Them California teams, because he's a California kid, licking their chops.
He was a Dodgers fan going up. Oh no,
I totally agree. I totally agree. He goes in arbitration, he's out of here.
Sam, what you think?
They're about to drop the ball. Losing pitching is something that we ain't got time for.
Oh boy, say that again.
Losing pitching.
Say it again, boy.
It's something we ain't got time for.
By the way, Luke Jackson.
My OG Grumpy brother said, if he goes to arbitration, he is out of here.
By the way, Luke Jackson signed with the Giants.
Luke Jackson signed with the Giants a couple of days ago, so we lost that. We only got one member of the night shift pitching this year. That's AJ Minter.
AJ Minter. He the last of the Mohicans.
So
Smith is gone. Jackson is gone. And
Matt's going to be out the rest of the year.
And Matt's out for the year.
So it's our bullpen. While it's still going to be good. I mean, we still got McHugh. We still got Raisel Iglesias. Joe Jimenez that we got from the Tigers. I really like him. I think he's going to be a great.
Bullpen's going to be good, but you're losing. You're losing. But you're losing camaraderie.
Starting pitching is essential.
Yeah, I mean, we still got the 20-game winner, Kyle Wright. They still feel like Ian Anderson can get it together. Inoue should come back this year. Soroka should come back sometime this year.
And then Strider are going to be fully healthy.
Strider going to be fully healthy, and we got. Hey, listen, we got the old dog, the innings eater.
He's going to give us 5-6 no matter what.
Hey, as long as he don't break something in the playoffs, because last 2 years, how do you break a leg? How do you break a leg in the World Series and pitch? He pitched another inning, didn't he?
Yeah, he pitched a full another inning. Struck out.
He pushed a full inning on the.
He struck out Jose Altuve on 3 pitches.
And then he breaks his arm. Charlie, hang it up, Charlie. Your bones getting brittle, buddy. But hey, I appreciate the effort.
Right.
Yeah.
With that being said, we're gonna end the show like we always do every week. We're gonna start with you, Blackberry. Tell them where they can find you.
Home team, y'all know where to find me. Blackberry Lyrics. That's on YouTube. That's on Twitter. Blackberry Lyrics. That's Blackberry, no C, just a K. Y'all can catch me there. Catch the Rex Pit. Yes, sir. Catch me on the Rex Pit every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the Rex Pit on Blackberry Lyrics channel, AFN, GSN. Either one, it don't matter. But I said I would prefer y'all go to my channel and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, right, so y'all can get the goods there.
Forgive me, I haven't done it. I will do it today.
Yeah.
Amen to you, brother. God bless you.
All right, Sam, we'll go with you and then OG. Both OGs, actually.
Yeah, the Grumpy OG brothers have that team. OG Big Sam on Twitter. My government name on Facebook, Samuel White.
OG Truth with a 2. Hurts, HURTZ on Twitter. YouTube. Kings, KINGZ, Ransom, RANTZOM, government name, Chauncey MT King on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. And you can also catch me on 2 Factor Media Radio. That's 2FM. Now we're shifting to Mondays on the Big Verb Game Day Report. I always close it out. I'm OG Truth Hurts. Hey, I always seek and speak the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
Mikey, take us home.
And You can find me on YouTube, recapping the Hawks hoops. We stream that. We stream Georgia Sports Nation through there, as well as follow me on Twitter at Pinwizard300, live tweeting about Hawks games, going on through watch parties sometimes. So definitely check me out there. But with that being said, make sure to tune into the show next week, 6 o'clock every Friday. We're going to see you guys there next week. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and you'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
You can also find Maggiet running, shooting somebody lights out.
Hell yeah. Yes, sir.